Yeah, the move. Whatever hand you hit, you move to that side. Left hook, boom! You gotta think of throwing punches. Your job is to throw punches.
With sheep, it will become a sheep.
Anthony Joshua is said to be sharpening his preparation alongside Mike Tyson as he gears up for his forthcoming bout with Jake Paul. During camp, Joshua has reportedly been revisiting classic, old-school boxing principles linked to Tyson's legendary training methods, using them to fine-tune his overall game. His work has centered heavily on strategic awareness, hand speed, and punching power, with the team placing strong emphasis on conditioning and fight tactics to ensure he enters the ring fully prepared and performing at his highest level.
Going in the gym, coming forward, punching to the body with his...
Anthony Joshua has spoken about the influence Mike Tyson has had on his development, particularly when it comes to raw power and disciplined training habits. Joshua explained that he has added targeted neck and shoulder exercises to his routine, drawing inspiration from Tyson's old-school methods. According to AJ, these drills enhance strength, balance, and overall punch effectiveness, highlighting how learning from legendary fighters can have a direct and practical impact on his own approach to training.
Exercise I got from Mike Tyson, a lot of wrestlers do this. Quite dangerous actually. Physios don't like this type of stuff, but it's good for neck conditioning. It's called neck bridges. And it's flexibility and strength at the same time. So it's a really good exercise if you...
Mike Tyson offered guidance to Anthony Joshua, speaking highly of his abilities and potential. Tyson stressed that remaining active as a fighter is essential for growth, explaining that regular competition keeps skills sharp, strengthens self-belief, and helps a boxer operate at the highest level when it matters most.
You give to somebody like AJ?
That he has a lot of talent and not to get discouraged. He only loses when he quits. When you quit, all the doors of opportunities close. You know what I mean? You have to be game, and then don't get discouraged if you lose. Listen, you just lost. You may have got $30 million. I just think the more time you lay off, the worse you get. You have to fight to be the best. You have to do it.
Anthony Joshua is deep into an intense training camp, where he has begun integrating elements inspired by Mike Tyson's iconic approach. His routine now features targeted neck and strength exercises aimed at improving durability and explosive power, alongside a strong emphasis on conditioning, speed, and technical sharpness. These sessions are structured to boost punching force, movement, and stamina, underlining Joshua's complete commitment to sharpening his abilities and asserting his dominance inside the ring.
Bro, my physio is looking at me like, what the fuck? I can see you looking at me like, fuck, please don't fucking look. Hey, if it goes, at least you're here anyway. You know, 43,000 tuned in. Oh, mate. You know I started this shit.
Mate, just do you want to set up the physio table, put the flats on it?
Anything.
Get back up.
I'm easy, boss.
Eat.
Showtime sent me a lovely picture of me, the dog.
Eddie Hearn has been clear in his belief that Anthony Joshua would come out on top if a fight with Jake Paul ever took place. However, Hearn cautions against the idea that it would be an easy night's work, even though Paul is not viewed as an elite boxer within traditional boxing circles. He points to Joshua's track record against dangerous and high-level opponents, including Francis Ngannou, to underline that Joshua's victories are built on genuine ability rather than facing inexperienced competition. According to Hearn, Joshua's success comes from relentless training, sharp technique, and disciplined preparation, combined with natural power and intelligent strategy, all of which enable him to control and dominate opponents across every level of the sport.
Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua 50-50 fight. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I just said in another interview, great if it is. I mean, if it is, then you've got no problem seeing it. But when AJ, I mean, decapitate's a strong word, but you know, when he renders Jake Paul unconscious like he did to Francis Ngannou, don't then say, oh well, it was Jake Paul. Do you know what I mean? I mean, when AJ beat Francis Ngannou, Ngannou just had a fight that could have gone either way with Tyson Fury. Then AJ poleaxed him and everyone just said he's just an MMA fighter. Do you know what I mean? Jake Paul's not Francis Ngannou. But, as I said before, if you want to see Jake Paul exit the boxing world...
Nigel Benn has voiced serious concerns about the growing influence of entertainment-focused bouts on the sport of boxing. He argues that when celebrities or social media figures step into the ring, it shifts attention and money away from career professionals who have spent years dedicating themselves to elite-level training and competition. According to Ben, many accomplished boxers earn relatively modest purses, while crossover events fueled by hype, virality, and mainstream appeal generate enormous paydays for participants who may lack comparable experience or skill. He believes these spectacle-driven fights attract massive audiences and lucrative sponsorships, but at a cost, as they risk devaluing the hard work and sacrifice of true professionals, and could ultimately damage the integrity and long-term health of the sport.
Bit of rumours around today, Anthony Joshua and
Jake. No. I'm not even really entertaining that. It's just not. Being a two-time heavyweight champion of the world, it's I don't know, YouTubers. I'm not really into all them influencers coming in there, and there's like some boxers that really work their butt off, don't get paid like what these guys are getting. And Anthony Joshua being a former world champion should be fighting like, someone in the top 5, top 10. So I really got much time to talk about that. Not interested, really.
Bad for boxing?
Well, not bad for boxing. If people want to pay to watch it, then, who am I? I'm just giving you my opinion. Who's not worked his way through the ranks to earn that shot at the former world champion? No, not at all.
Australian boxing, who are you a fan of? Obviously got good fighters out there.
Joe's my type of fighter. He's very spiteful, and he's just another level, really. I don't think there's no better cruiserweight around.
Ade Oladipo approaches the idea of an Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul matchup primarily from a financial standpoint. He suggests that turning down a fight of this magnitude would make little sense, as the potential earnings could climb close to the $100 million mark. From his perspective, the financial upside far outweighs the sporting risk, especially considering Joshua's experience, pedigree, and proven ability at the highest level. Oladipo frames the situation as a classic low-risk, high-reward opportunity, noting that payouts of this scale are extremely rare in boxing, even for elite champions. He believes Joshua is uniquely positioned to capitalize on such a payday while facing a comparatively limited threat due to Paul's lack of experience against world-class opposition.
If someone knocks on your door and says, do you want to fight Jake Paul for 100 million? You're like, you'd be stupid to say no. No, I don't want that 100 million for what would be and will be and should be easy work for AJ. Like, well, why are you going to turn down 100 million? AJ should and could knock out Jake Paul in a round. Like, if Jake Paul was over here fighting under our British Boxing Board of Control, I don't think it would be a Southern Area Cruiserweight champion. AJ is a former unified heavyweight champion of the world that I still believe is a top 10 heavyweight in the world. Like, AJ should be able to destroy him. AJ is going to be 60 pounds or so bigger than him. AJ hits like a truck. AJ is a better boxer. Like, this is
a significant section of the boxing community has been openly critical of the idea of Anthony Joshua facing Jake Paul. Many supporters of the sport view the matchup as a serious blow to boxing's credibility, arguing that it places an established former heavyweight champion opposite a figure who rose to prominence through social media rather than the traditional boxing ranks. There's also concern that by entertaining a fight with Paul, Joshua could be sidelining the possibility of a far more meaningful clash with Tyson Fury, an opponent widely regarded as a true test at the elite level. For these critics, the proposed bout seems driven more by financial appeal than by sporting merit or legacy. Online discussions and fan forums are filled with frustration over what many see as a clear imbalance, with frequent debates about whether taking part in such an event could ultimately damage Joshua's standing in boxing history.
Anthony Joshua gets in the ring with YouTuber Jake Paul, and that's what he is, YouTuber Jake Paul. Would you watch it? Simon, before we take some calls, with this seemingly in the pipeline, can we safely say goodbye to Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury?
Well, I think it's done anyway, judging by the mood music that seems to be coming out from various camps. If you listen to Tyson Fury, he seems to be, despite the fact we've danced this dance before and walked this walk before, he seems to be talking in a very different way. There's no hyperbole. I'm done. This is a younger man's game. I've done my bit. I'm at peace with where I am in life. I don't need boxing anymore. But not in the flash for cash way that Tyson often does it. In a more earnest way is my understanding of his sort of thought processes. So with that in mind, it almost feels that that's off the table anyway. Who knows? The draw of the enormous amounts of money that this one fight can generate. This is the one fight that can really get everybody paid. I mean, the two protagonists. Whatever Usyk takes, tragically for him, he wouldn't even get anywhere near as much money as potentially being offered for the Fury-Joshua fight.
What would earn AJ more of a pay packet? Fighting Fury or fighting Jake Paul?
Well, I would think tragically fighting Jake Paul.
God, what is
that?
Because
because the revenues, because it's a Gen Z TikTok generation that wants to watch sport in a certain way.
Yeah,
and that's nothing critical of them. It's just the way that it is. And that's the circumstances of social media and the platforms that people like Jake Paul are able to cross over. It's not a case of people in the mainstream should be dinosaurs. The digital world and those opportunities and those platforms are marvelous places. And you know, you heard me talking about Mark Goldbridge the other day and the commercial deal that he did with the Bundesliga. And we can be sniffy about their level of content, or we can accept that there's a place for everybody. It's interesting that still the digital world and that's...
Commentators have pointed out that Jake Paul stepping in with Anthony Joshua represents a clear step up from anyone he has faced before. Unlike previous opponents, who are either past their peak or no longer active at the highest level, Joshua is still competing as an elite professional and has consistently gone up against world-class fighters. This reality forces Paul to rethink every aspect of his preparation, from his training intensity to his tactical approach, because he can no longer depend on advantages linked to age, inactivity, or limited experience on the other side of the ring. While most analysts still view Paul as the outsider, they agree that this matchup offers a far more genuine measure of his progress, giving him a chance to show whether he has truly evolved as a boxer.
Maybe even bigger than the Mike Tyson fight. It's hard to say really. Tyson was a big name, but it's going to do numbers regardless, because Joshua is a big name and then people are going to be tuning in to see Jake Paul get knocked out. Right now, Eddie Hearn talks about Jake Paul taking this Joshua fight.
I mean, my estimations of Jake Paul would go through the roof if he signs to fight Anthony Joshua, because I just can't believe in my mind that he would do something like that. I mean, Gervonta was a smart one because of his size. Like, you know, I think actually he would have had a lot of success against Jake Paul, but the size is a problem. But this would just be, you know, like if Jake Paul was to take the fight with AJ, you'd really have to maybe carry his balls in a wheelbarrow on the ring walk, you know, because AJ wouldn't mess around in there, you know. So it would be huge, but nothing, you know, to tell you it's close. Just a few conversations so far.
Damn right, if Jake Paul takes this fight, he's got some major balls on him. And I know people hate influencer boxing, but come on, he's not fighting an old, retired, past the prime MMA fighter. No, he's fighting a legit boxer who's massive, 6'5", 6'6", jacked, 240, 250 pounds, shredded, power puncher. Do we need to remind ourselves of what Joshua did to Francis Ngannou? Francis Ngannou was coming off a pretty good performance over Tyson Fury. He didn't get the win in that fight, but you could argue that he did actually win that fight. And Ngannou, throughout his entire MMA career, in 4-ounce gloves, very rarely got hit. He could take a punch. He's got a big, fat African head. Big, thick neck, traps, back. He just can't really be hit. And look what Joshua...
Shane McGuigan has voiced doubts about whether the proposed matchup between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul will actually take place, calling the idea somewhat farcical. He highlights practical and logistical challenges that could prevent the fight from materializing, from contract negotiations and promotional hurdles to the physical and reputational risks for both fighters. McGuigan also emphasizes that, from a sporting standpoint, the fight may not align with Joshua's long-term goal of preserving his competitive legitimacy. His remarks echo a broader concern in the boxing community about prioritizing spectacle and financial gain over genuine, high-level competition.
Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul reports. What do you make of it? And if we were to see AJ step in with Jake Paul?
I said it yesterday, I'll say it again, I think it's farcical. I just don't see how it's going to materialise. I didn't think the Tank fight would materialise, and it didn't. And you know, it's all good saying that you're going to box somebody, and then but until literally they're on the ring walk and in the ring, and I'm not going to believe it.
Away from AJ, what do you make of the Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. fight next week?
It's an interesting fight. Haney's up at 147. He looks good. He looks physically good. It's mad to think he's only 26 years of age. Confident-wise, I don't know what that Garcia fight took out of him. Because yes, he tested positive afterwards, but I believe that his Achilles heel is punch resistance, and I think it'll be interesting. I don't know enough about Norman, but I think definitely test him, and maybe Devin Haney will hold a better shot now. He's up at 147. But yeah, it's an exciting matchup. I think it's a.
Analysts have observed a change in the way Jake Paul is viewed in the boxing community. Once regarded primarily as a social media personality or celebrity fighter, he is increasingly recognized as a legitimate competitor, largely due to the higher caliber of opponents he is now facing. This shift is affecting the perception of fans, trainers, and commentators, leading to a growing respect for his dedication and progress in the sport. While analysts emphasize that Paul is not yet on par with elite boxers like Anthony Joshua, they acknowledge that he is taking meaningful steps toward credibility within professional boxing.
The one that I was mostly familiar was the Anderson Silva one. Where Anderson Silva had like one sick round where he's like, whoop, whoop, doing it what Anderson Silva does and missing everything, and cracks him and whatever. And then he just like the next few rounds, he's back to like just getting his butt kicked by Jake Paul and walking around, doesn't look the same. Yeah. But again, I don't think these guys are actually getting dropped to like faking. I think Jake Paul actually has that kind of power. I just feel like they kind of know the deal.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna fight. Yeah. We're gonna fight. I make a lot of money. You make a lot of money, not as much money as me, but you make more money than you ever would. So you take it. It is what it is. But I don't know. Kind of sucks to see all these legends, right? Like of the sport. Like, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see this guy is losing to freaking Jake Paul.
I will say I loved everything about the Tyson fight in the lead up, and then as I'm actually watching it, I'm like, all right, this is actually fucked up. My bad.
Yeah, it's like senior.
Even when he turns around on.
People are increasingly recognizing Jake Paul as a serious competitor, noting his commitment to rigorous training, study of boxing techniques, and willingness to face tough opponents. This growing acknowledgement of his abilities could positively influence his career, opening doors to higher profile fights and more credible opponents. Analysts highlight that while he is still developing as a boxer, being taken more seriously marks a significant shift in perception and signals a turning point for how crossover fighters are regarded within the boxing world.
Probably know some other stuff like
how much Anthony Joshua made.
Is he in debt? Does he have to do? They know these.
There's an outside motivation to want to do it. Yeah.
And then that's probably why guys like Tyson or whatever would like, well, yeah, I need to pay some bills. Let's do it.
It also gets their name back out there, in a big way.
And it has to be a big enough name that people are interested at all. Yeah.
And I think at this point, Jake Paul is taken a little more seriously than before. Like if it was the first fight, I think it's a lot different. But then at this point, I think it's more like, oh yeah, it's a thing. It's an exhibition. It's a model.
This has got to be big money because even Anthony Joshua's last fight that he lost, he reportedly earned about 25 million pounds. And when he fought Francis Ngannou in March, he approximately made $50 million.
Wow.
So like rumor mill has it so that Jake Paul is set to potentially Jake Paul might earn 92 million.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for more updates. And we'll see you next time, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.